I just want to give someone else an opportunity to get this going, keep it going, go to someplace new, be the face of something different, see what else we can do. I am by no means running off, leaving, anything like that. I just think that in a leadership role, in a nonprofit, which is what we are, every now and then you need a change of authority, a change of facial recognition, whatever you want to call it. But I will tell you guys, in the last 5 or 6 years, we've come a long way. Since she's coming on as our ED, we've come a hell of a long way. If you look at our show this time, this is probably the best show we've had in a while. Now, us board members can say, yeah, we did that. No, that's her. We basically, when she just says something, okay. Where do you want me to move it? Okay. What do you want me to pay for? Okay. And then she does everything else. So a lot of this is because of her, and I'm so comfortable with what I'm doing. I'm leaving it in great hands, and the new people that are going to be taking over. I just want y'all to know, thank you for letting me be here.
Yes, we're not letting him run off or anything like that, so hopefully no one has any anxiety about it. But we do want to thank him for, 9 years? Yeah, something like that. And 7 in the role of, is that right? 7 in the role of president?
7 as president.
Okay, yes. So that is quite a long time, and he does work very hard for you guys and the industry in Missouri. So just another round of applause, please, because that is no small feat.
I got one standing ovation.
Yes. We want to go ahead and start the annual meeting of members for 2022. It seems like we just had this meeting, but that was because COVID has shifted everything, and timing is basically being corrected at this point in time. So if I can have an official open to the annual meeting of members, does that need to be a motion? Okay, and a second, please. Okay, thank you. The first order of business is the officer elections. And so basically, as in my position, I need to present the officers of the board of directors shall be elected at the annual membership meeting of the association. We are presenting these officers for you guys to vote on. Mike is looking to take over the role of president, serving under Brian for just about the same amount of time, I think. Chris would like to step in. We would like Chris to step into the vice president role. Jeff Miller is going to step into the treasurer role, and Marla will come on as secretary. These are voted to be put forth on the floor, and any opposition would need to be acknowledged right now. Sure. Yeah. So we'll let them talk for a second.
All right. A lot of you guys probably know me. I've been around here for a little while. I think I've been on the board for almost 15 years, maybe. Been in the industry for a long time, and I'm happy to take this challenge on, and I hope I can keep this going forward. I already bet Brian that we would beat the attendance at the next show, so I'm going to need all you guys to call a friend. So we've got to beat the numbers next time. So that was my first promise. So anyway, but yeah, this has been a great show. Everything we do, we do it together. That's what's important, and you guys, pulled together and made this a great show, and we appreciate you guys showing up. Oh, yeah, I have stores in Warrensburg, Missouri, so I'm over by Whiteman Air Force Base. So
We'll hand this to Chris.
Hi, my name is Chris Holloway. I've been in storage for about 15 years, starting off sweeping for my grandfather, and then just kind of eventually, now here I am. We have a couple facilities in Jefferson City. Taking on in the vice president role, I've got a couple dragons that we're looking to slay this year, and we're going to bring those up shortly. But that's really all I have to say about that, I guess.
Hi, I'm Jeff Miller. I'm definitely the newest one out of this group to storage. My brother and I started partnering in storage in 2017, and we've got several facilities now, mainly around Springfield, the Springfield area. So yeah, that's it.
Marla?
My name is Marla Cholich. I've been in the storage arena for about 11 years, and I think it's correct that we have a lot. We should be proud as an association. We have certainly streamlined our processes, and that is evident with the kind of cachet of vendors who have chosen to partner with us during this show. We've got some really great ones. And Shelley, you have truly been an amazing benefit to our association.
Oh, wait a minute, guys. The board
They're
got
too
a-
kind. Too
got a
kind.
little bit of a clap while I go. Look, Shelley runs 2 different associations.
Yep.
And we still have all this. Let's give a round of applause for Shelley.
Yes.
This is her.
Y'all don't have to. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. So the motions for the officer positions are, any opposition to that? Okay. They are accepted and carried with no opposition. The next 2 things I have, and then we're going to talk about things y'all actually want to hear about. The financials as of this month, as of March 31st, our checking account has $89,000 in it, and our savings account has $31,000. The last fiscal year, net income was up about $5,200 from 2020. So we ended last year with 254 facility members and 28 vendor members, even only having 1 live show. So those are great. Those are great numbers. I'll talk a little bit about the plans for 2022. Right now, I think a lot of you are aware that we have legislation running that will affect basically every person in this room, trying to repeal the demand to advertise in a newspaper when you have a lien sale. We had some really great momentum going, and this is not a negative report on it, but due to the redistricting issues that are going on in the House and Senate, we are stalled in the House. We have 2 bills that are being run so that this was somewhat anticipated, and we were hoping to just get 1 through, and we're basically in the same place. So Chris went to Jefferson City a few weeks ago and pleaded our case, and we really appreciate that. But as of right now, I don't have an update, and hopefully that will come this week, if not next week. So if you haven't reached out to your legislatures about that, just please, a simple email just asking for their support is all we need you to do. So that is it. I am going to turn it over to something actually interesting. Brian's going to start.
Well, we've been made aware. Here, let me get this out your way. Been made aware in a couple other states that a little more forward thinking than we were. Anybody know when you're home, you just get a drive-by assessment? They increase your taxes, and they say, hey, look, you're paying this new amount. Businesses are starting to have that issue, too. There's several different pieces of legislation going through other states that we are watching that eyeballed Illinois in 2018. 2019 and 2020, we put a good amount of work into it. 2020, one facility raised their taxes $80,000. The other facility, they raised them $91,000. Never been on the site. They saw us improving it. They did a drive-by assessment. They figured out what the market was ready for, how much it cost, and that's what they hit us for. Now, they're starting to hit a lot of these, as Chris is going to tell you, on your facility's worth $1 million, but you're going to make $6 million this year. We're going to tax you on the $6 million. We're not going to tax you on the property. So if you know when you buy a property, you can buy the property and then you can buy the business. We try to help with our taxes that way. But the states and the cities and the counties are getting smarter and smarter and smarter. So that's starting to happen in Missouri and Illinois. So before that happens, Chris here, who's from Jeff City and does help with, know a lot of the legislators, we're going to start tackling this. I think this is the first time I can really say that we are on the forefront of seeing this coming down the line, and before it gets rampant, we just want y'all to know we're going to start tackling everything we can to see if there's anything. We're arguing over legislation for newspapers. $5 or $10 put an ad in the paper, cool. But if they raise something $90,000 because they drove by and you put up one more building, that needs to be addressed too. Chris?
Growing up, my grandfather always said that you can't fight City Hall. And I think one of the biggest battles that we'll ever face as an association is a battle against property taxes. And I've been waiting for a long time to find an issue, a hill to die on, and I think this is the one. I do have some cards that I can pull. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I'm going to start getting this ball rolling. And where you guys come into play on this is like, yes, an email has this much weight. An actual written letter has this much weight. But if you go to your legislator or call them, you got this much weight. And it really works. I know legislators. A friend of mine is a former Speaker of the House, and I listen to them when they talk. And I never wanted to get involved in politics because I know how disgustingly gross it is, and I know how it's not what we think it is. So I've always tried to stay out of it. But my property taxes doubled this year. Doubled. I take a full gross month's income to pay my property taxes. So I'm only making 11 months worth of income. So I'm going to die on this hill, and I need your help. We need your help. So this is in its infantile stages. I don't have a lot of answers for you yet because I now have to go find the questions. Yeah. So if anyone is willing to give me input or help in any way, I'd be glad to hear from you. All of us would be glad to hear you. This isn't just me. This is the team. So I just happen to be the one talking. But by all means, get in contact with us because this is probably going to be one of the biggest wars we'll ever fight in storage, in my opinion, of 15 years of being in the business.
No one in this room, this does not affect. No one in this room does this not affect.
This is an issue that is very industry specific because a dentist office they're not seeing something like this. You can just go down the line. So it's very industry specific. It doesn't look fair to a lot of people, and the problem is that it was very concentrated in a few areas, and people have been talking about it and trying to figure it out. I've heard some of you talk to me about it. I just had no idea what to do. So I made a connection at a meeting about a month ago, and hopefully we'll be able to just use his expertise and move something forward. But what you guys can do now is send me an email and just let me know if this is affecting you. We'd like to get a good temperature on what exactly is going on with our members. That will help us determine kind of the next steps. So that's what we would like for you to do.
How many people's taxes have went up in the last 2 years? More than 10%.
Yeah.
Now think about if it went up 30%, 40%. And you don't have time. You need an email, a phone call, a text. I mean, if you have nothing else to do, you go stay in Jet City 2 days, knock on someone's door, and when they have to look you in the face, it really bothers the hell out of them.
Yeah, it's
and
effective.
Make an appointment with them. Now you got their attention that you took your money and time to go down there. The thing about 10%, let's say they raised you $5,000. We also got so much damn money, we won't need $5,000? Yeah. I mean, it's going to get worse.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't your property tax based on your local municipality or like St. Louis County assessors would come out?
Yes, that's what I understand.
Okay, so I mean, we own apartment buildings, and so there have been times where the assessor has way overestimated your market value, and there's every 2 years you have a chance to go through an appeal with the Board of Equalization, which is a state Board of Equalization. So you basically have to appeal. There's some appeal services that can also consult with you and tell you how to go about.
Yeah, and so we've got some resources that are going to be added pretty quickly to the website about that appeal process, and that is working for some people. So if you're inside the city, that's where the problem seems to be, and I think the concern is that it's going to eventually spread.
And it is municipality specific. One town down the road, 6 miles from you, taxes never move. You're 6 miles down the road in a different municipality, they think they've learned what to do, and they jack your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. Say there's 1,000 towns in Missouri.
I had a guy
Yeah.
walking through my facility, and it wasn't even finished construction yet, and he was drawing a map on his notebook to figure out how much he was going to charge me, and I hadn't even opened. Are there any questions,
Yes.
sir?
Yes, Ray.
What these assessors are doing, when they reassess it, they're reassessing it higher than what they really know that it's worth, thinking that a certain amount of you and I are going to go and contest this. So the end result is, they please you, they'll lower it 20%, and they still raised it 80% from what it was.
Yeah. And that's year over year. So it's not one time. It's a pattern.
Sir. Over there. Yes, sir.
They don't know how to assess. I just happened to be in my office today. They showed up and I said, what y'all doing? We're counting doors. And I figured, what the hell for? You know, my taxes went up 35%.
Yeah.
And all I did was paint the place, put in concrete, and a new fence, and it looks awesome. And for that privilege, I get to pay them.
They're punishing you for beautifying the city.
Well, if you think about what Ray says, that's great. Even with the young lady here, the mitigation services you can work with. But think about this. They jack you 40%, thinking that you're going to hire someone for $10,000, $15,000 to come argue with them, and they're going to get you down to 25%. Now they look like they're doing you a damn favor, but your taxes still went up 25%.
Well, as an association, you can consult with these appeal specialists.
Right,
And
that's
then
what we're talking about.
basically, it's a valuation approach. So you mentioned separating the value of the land of the building from the value of the business. If the
Some-
business went away, what would be the value?
Right.
Exactly.
It doesn't
Exactly.
work.
Yeah. But
So-
but they can at least, they can give you some information, some guidance that you can then share with others.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we would recommend right now if you're having this problem right now. Like, please exhaust all of those resources, and we can help you if we need to there. It's in the future that we're looking to get ahead of this. So
For a long time, we've been behind the ball sometimes as a board. Anybody's that been on the board, y'all kind of know that or been around. So we are starting to go forward with everything we're doing because storage is so hot. We want to get ahead of everything we can get ahead of to represent you better rather than waiting until it becomes a problem and now we're trying to backstroke and fix it. So we're really trying to get out in the forefront.
yes, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Chris, you know the three ways that they assess replacement, brick and mortar, and income. I fought Jefferson County because on the two they were going to lose, but on the third, Missouri, and I hope maybe we're one of the few states. But you can never win because on the third, which they can't do on residential, against the law. But on third is they can use income approach.
Yeah.
And on income approach, you can't win because on income, they can assess your value on your income, and you'll never win that, so you can see how many states besides Missouri, or could you check, that seems so unfair to use the income approach.
Also not the business.
We don't do
Because
anything.
you could take your value of your business, because if you had two businesses on a boulevard, one selling auto parts and one selling some, and the one business was very successful and did a very good job with their business, our county, Jefferson County, would punish the most successful business on there because of income. Now, they're the exact same square footage on the same boulevard, on the same value, but we, as a county, will punish those who are more successful. When I brought ours in, they took an aerial shot, they saw how much, they saw how many, how full we were. And the answer was, just take this to the bank, I think they would be very impressed. Otherwise, show us your income. So I think we should attack that. If other states have approached it as an unfair, you can't take two businesses side by side and then tax them on how successful they are. I think that's wrong. And Chris, I think you could start with that as being unfair.
Yes, it's part of, there's an email chain that I read earlier, and I've been hit in the head a lot, so I'm going to mess this up. They're trying to, so the way, I mean, it's just true. Okay, so the way I see it is, or the way I read it was the there's the physical value of the land and the buildings, but how much value does your monthly lease carry? And that was part of the discussion that we were reading earlier. So like the lease value, your individual leases to your customers should not carry weight in the property value. And that's, again, this is infantile. I don't know what I'm talking about yet. So, but I will know. The next time we talk, I will know what I'm talking about. And we'll be able to deep dive into that.
All right, guys, we have 2 more things this afternoon. We have how has COVID changed operations? And we'll be going through that with Ben Evans. You can't miss him. The guy from Janus that just smiles at everybody. And then we're going to have our legal review with Stan come up. Now, after all this is over with today, and we're sitting around and we get through with everything, if you want to sit around and ask a few questions, this, that, and the other, and here's something we would really love. Shelley's going to send out some surveys and ask how we did and yada, yada, yada. But if you could look at one of these people, shake their hand if you like them. If you don't, walk by them, whatever. But just tell them, we like this, 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 and this. This is the only thing we didn't like. Or have you guys ever considered this and this? Or there's this really cool area that I don't know if it's big enough, but maybe y'all consider this for a show. We'd really like to hear in person what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what you like, what you don't like. And then for the rest of you, just tell Shelley she's wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Yes, sir.
And
Hold on. We got one more.
last one. Oh, Alex.
Do it, man.
That's
Well,
Alex.
I'm not going.
Stand up.
I'm not going for an officer position, so I just kind of hide behind the podium for all those. Alex Herbs with Herbs Management Group. We own and operate storage facilities all across Missouri and a few other states. So we have a few across central Missouri, Columbia, Rolla, et cetera. We've been in storage about 7-8 years at this point. So I'm going to be helping with not an official officer position, a lot with membership, recruitment, development, et cetera. So again, like they already said, please tell your friends to sign up and please support the association so we can continue this legal work and the other things on your behalf to be able to help expand your businesses as you grow and continue to grow, and we grow this show along the way. So
Thank you, Alex. I will throw a motion out to, or I guess you need to throw the motion out to officially close the
Before
meeting.
we end the meeting, how about a round of applause for your 2022 board?
Yeah, thanks.
Come on, guys.